Number 10. 2026 Lexus LC 500. Lexus didn't build the LC 500 to win a drag strip trophy. It built it to make the highway feel like a private runway. For 2026, it's 8-cylinder only. The LC 500H Hybrid is discontinued, so the main event is the 5-liter naturally aspirated 8-cylinder with 471 horsepower and 398 pound-feet, sending power rearward through a 10-speed automatic. Car and Driver has clocked 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. Quick, but the real hook is the response. No turbo weight, just clean, rising power that makes you stay in the throttle longer than you planned. Inside is where the LC earns its GT stripes. Lexus calls out a low instrument panel, slim pillars, and seats built with a 2-part drape design that helps hold you in corners. You get a standard 12.3-inch HD touchscreen plus panoramic view monitor and intuitive parking assist standard, so it's easy to place in the real world. Want the collector spec? The 2026 Inspiration Series is limited to 200 coupes with smoke matte gray, a white-black interior, carbon fiber roof, and 21-inch matte black forged wheels. Starting price, $101,700. We're opening with the Heart Pick, the one you buy for sound, feel, and style. But don't leave yet. There's a car later in this list that's basically a track program in a designer suit, and it changes what GT even means. Stay with me. Number 9. 2026 Aston Martin DB12. DB12 doesn't feel like a pretty GT that happens to be quick. It feels like a long-distance weapon that learned manners. For 2026, Aston's formula is muscle and control. A twin-turbo 4-liter 8-cylinder rated at 671 horsepower sent to the rear wheels through an 8-speed automatic and an electronic rear differential. Aston says it rips 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds and runs on to 202 miles per hour. Supercar territory without sacrificing the grand touring mission. Why it drives the way it does? That E-diff and Aston's torque vectoring brake control help the car rotate cleanly instead of just depending on horsepower. So you can lean on it earlier when the road opens. Inside, it's a modern Aston. A 10.25-inch driver display plus a 10.25-inch central touchscreen, wireless phone charging, and natural voice control so you're not fumbling mid-pull. Spec the Bowers & Wilkins system and you get up to 15 speakers and 1,170 watts. Concert-level punch on a cross-state run. Starting price around $265,500. This one is the long-distance weapon with manners. Next up is the car that turns rooftop cruising into a launch control event. All-wheel drive grip, active aero, and a V8 that doesn't wait for permission. Number 8. 2026 Mercedes-AMG SL63 Roadster. The AMG SL63 doesn't do soft grand tourer. It does rooftop drama with supercar punch on call. Under that long hood is a handcrafted AMG 4-liter bi-turbo 8-cylinder feeding an AMG Speed Shift MCT 9-speed with AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus and an electronic limited slip rear diff so the car leaves clean instead of lighting tires. Mercedes lists 577 horsepower, 590 pound-feet, and a factory 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds. Translation, you can cruise like a luxury roadster, then hit the throttle and feel the whole car squat and fire forward like it got yanked by a cable. Why it stays composed when speeds climb. active aero plays defense. Air panel up front plus a multi-stage active rear spoiler, keeping it stable when the easy part, launch, is over. And because it's a real GT, you still get 4 passenger capacity and 7.5 cubic feet of cargo for weekend runs that don't require packing like a minimalist. Inside is hyper analog meets high tech. A 12.3-inch digital cluster, an adjustable 11.9-inch touchscreen running 3rd gen M-Bucks, plus heated ventilated multi-contour seats with massage. AMG performance seats available. Starting price, $187,850. If you love GT cars that can do the luxury thing and still hit like a hammer, consider subscribing. I got more 2026 lists coming. Real specs, real buyer logic, and zero brochure talk. Number 7. 2026 Bentley Continental GT Speed. The danger with this GT isn't the power, it's how calm it stays while doing something completely unreasonable. Bentley's ultra-performance hybrid pairs a twin-turbo 8-cylinder with electrified punch for 771 bhp and 738 pound-feet. And Bentley says the GT speed runs to 208 miles per hour with a 0 to 60 claim of 3.3 seconds. Car and Driver's testing has shown the speed can be even more violent off the line. 2.8 seconds to 60, which is supercar math wrapped in a grand touring silhouette. What makes it one of the best GT cars in the world is the way it does both jobs at once. The Performance Active chassis stacks an ELSD, 48-volt dynamic ride, and all-wheel steering, while twin-valve air suspension go plush over potholes, then lock in for fast sweepers. Even the battery placement helps, near 50-50 balance. Inside, it's the I could do 800 miles today cabin, 3D diamond hide, speed motifs, and the optional Bentley rotating display that flips from the central touchscreen to a veneered panel bearing 3 traditional analog gauges, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, built-in Wi-Fi, wireless charging, and over-the-air map updates keep it modern, starting around $305,250. Number 6. 2026 Porsche Panamera GTS. The Panamera GTS is the kind of GT that makes other fast luxury sedans feel like they're performing for attention. This one just works, mile after mile, at speeds that don't match its 4-door silhouette. Porsche gives it a 4-liter twin-turbo 8-cylinder with 493 horsepower and 486 pound-feet, backed by all-wheel drive and an 8-speed PDK that snap shifts without breaking the car's rhythm. With Sport Chrono, Porsche lists 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, a 12.1 second quarter mile, and a 188 mile per hour top speed. Serious pace, but delivered with Porsche-level composure. The magic is how naturally it transforms from calm to committed without ever feeling heavy. You can cruise like an executive car, then lean on it and it tightens up like a sports coupe, helped by hardware like PTV Plus torque vectoring and adaptive air suspension with PASM, lowered for GTS. Inside, Porsche's new driver experience is pure cockpit. A 12.6-inch curved instrument display, a 12.3-inch center screen, and an available 10.9-inch passenger display, plus physical climate switches and a real volume knob, so it feels like a driver's car. Starting price at around $169,250. Panamera is the one you can daily without thinking twice. The next car is the one that makes you think twice, then do it anyway. It's a different kind of GT. More heat, more edge, less forgiveness. Number 5. Aston Martin Vantage. The Vantage doesn't enter a corner so much as it pounces, and the scary part is how refined it feels while doing it. Under that long hood is a heavily reworked AMG-sourced 4-liter twin-turbo 8-cylinder rated at 656 horsepower and 590 pound-feet, sent to the rear wheels through a rear-mounted 8-speed automatic and an electronic rear differential. Aston quotes 202 miles per hour top speed. Car and driver testing, the same generation Vantage Coupe has already ripped 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, which tells you this car is quicker than it needs to be and exactly as quick as you want it to be. Where it earns Best GT status is the hardware stack that makes big power feel usable. Aston built it around near 50-50 balance. Bilstein DTX adaptive dampers, an E-diff, and bespoke 21-inch Michelin Pilot Sport S5 tires, so you get grip first, then violence, never the other way around. Inside, the cabin finally matches the drama. A 12.5-inch infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, modern software, and an optional Bowers & Wilkins system. Plus, real physical buttons so you're not hunting through menus at 80 miles per hour. Starting price, $194,500. Number 4. 2026 BMW M8 Competition Grand Coupe. The M8 Competition is what you buy when you want a GT who can do 2 jobs without changing its personality. Eat highway miles like a luxury coupe, then turn vicious the second the road clears. The hardware is pure heavy hitter. A 4.4-liter twin-power turbo 8-cylinder with 617 horsepower and 553 pound-feet. Backed by an 8-speed M Sport transmission with 3-stage drive logic so you can make shifts smooth or sharp on command. BMW's own numbers call it 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. The way it delivers that speed is the GT magic. It doesn't feel frantic. It just feels inevitable. Here's why it belongs among the best GT cars. Active M differential and M X-Drive let you choose 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive sport, or full 2-wheel drive. So the car can be secure in bad weather or playful when you want drama. The brakes are serious too. 6-piston M compound brakes with an integrated brake system with optional carbon ceramics if you're the back-to-back pulls type. Inside, it's legitimately cross-country friendly. 4-zone climate, merino leather Alcantara, ambient lighting, a 12.3-inch center display, and a standard Harman Kardon system. MSRP starting $140,000. If you're watching for the best daily GT, pay attention. The next one can be quiet, comfy, and still rip your neck back when you ask it to. Number 3. 2026 Mercedes-AMG GT 63 SE Performance. 4-door. This car has a dirty little secret. It's so fast off the line that the GT badge almost feels like misdirection because the first launch rewires your sense of normal. You're getting 831 horsepower and 1,032 pound-feet from AMG's plug-in hybrid setup with a rear 150 kilowatt e-motor and a 6.1 kilowatt-hour high-performance battery, all fed through the AMG Speed Shift MCT 9-speed with AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus. Mercedes lists 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Car and driver has clocked 2.4 seconds, so the violence is verified. What makes it one of the best GT cars you can actually live with is how complete the package is. The chassis is built for repeatable speed. AMG Ride Control Plus, active rear axle steering, and standard carbon ceramic brakes keep it planted when the road turns serious. Then you climb inside, and it's legitimately cross-country friendly. Heated ventilated seats, available massage, Napa leather, 64-color ambient lighting, dual 12.3-inch displays, MBUX with AMG track pace, Burmester audio, and wireless CarPlay Android Auto. MSRP $200,500. If you'd stop the list right there and call it perfect, hold on, the next car exists to prove there's still another level. Not just more power, but more aero, more chassis, more this should not be street legal. Number 2, 2026 Ford Mustang GTD. The Mustang GTD is the kind of car that makes people argue in the comments because it doesn't try to be a nice Mustang. It tries to be a world-class GT with plates. Ford's recipe is blunt. A dry sump, supercharged 5.2-liter 8-cylinder making 815 horsepower and 664 pound-feet, paired with a rear-mounted 8-speed dual-clutch transaxle so the car behaves like it was engineered from the back axle forward. Ford also lists a 202-mile-per-hour top track speed, and the proof headline is the official Nürburgring lap 6:52.072. The reason the GTD matters is that it isn't selling you hype, it's selling you engineering. This thing is designed to run hard for an entire season, not just rip one launch for the camera. The Multimatic pushrod suspension gives it race car control over pitch and roll. Cup 2R tires give it the kind of bite most street cars never touch. And carbon ceramic Brembos keep the stopping power consistent when heat builds. That's why an outlet like Car and Driver could measure 2.8 seconds to 60 and over 1.17 G of grip. The car's foundation is serious, not cosmetic. Inside, the vibe matches. Less lounge, more weaponized cockpit with dual displays, fixed back and tent, and details that remind you this isn't a regular Mustang with a price tag. Starting price at $327,960. If you're still here, we care about the why. Number 1 wins because of aero, geometry, and chassis control. The stuff that makes speed repeatable, not lucky. Number 1, 2026 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. This is the one that doesn't care about being comfortable, quiet, or subtle, only about being devastatingly effective. Porsche's headline numbers are already strong. 518 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and a 184 mile-per-hour top track speed, all from a high-revving 4-liter naturally aspirated flat 6 paired to a 7-speed PDK built for repeated track punishment. But the crown isn't horsepower. It's how the car weaponizes air and chassis control to make speed feel controllable. Porsche Active Aerodynamics constantly adjusts the front diffuser and 2-piece rear wing, with DRS flattening drag on straights. Then it loads the car back up for corners. The result is outrageous downforce. Porsche states 860 kilograms at 285 km/h. Race car territory with a license plate. Add PTV Plus, PASM, rear axle steering, ball jointed bearings, and optional PCCB ceramics, and the RS stays sharp when most fast cars start begging for mercy. Inside, it's purpose with polish, lightweight glass, a motorsport steering wheel with extra mode switches, and the optional Wellsatch package with carbon details and a carbon weave rear roll cage. MSRP US from $250,000. That's the list. If you agree or you're ready to fight me on it, hit like, subscribe, and drop your re-rank in the comments. Next video is already loaded with more 2026 heat.